Hello, friends. What was that? Mildred. Hey, how you doing? You came for this one, huh? You're excited, right? Yes, I know. Okay. There we go. Well, we can let her join us, I think, right? Want to stay here? I'll just duck down. There you go. So, today we are talking about this box. Antonio Pappano. See? See? Are you interested? Maybe not. Okay. So, yeah. Well, all right. So we're talking about Antonio Pappano, his complete symphonic, concertante, and sacred music recordings for Warner EMI with the chorus and orchestra dell'Accademia Nazionale di Santa Cecilia. And we love them, don't we? Let me lower this. There we go. So here it is. This has 27 CDs. 27 fun-filled CDs. And some of them are really good, surprisingly. Some of them are a little bit less so. The problem with most of these recordings, I'm going to go straight out and say it, is that a lot of them are live before audiences which are just a touch annoying. I mean, you hear them coughing. I listened on headphones, and it's not as big a deal if you're not listening on headphones. But it can be kind of annoying when you are trying to listen to quiet moments. There's some remarkable stuff here. I mean, some very, very exciting recordings and some really good playing that's quite unexpected. So let's see what we have. And we'll go through it. I hope this is like a book that has... No, of course it doesn't have. It has an index of works. Well, that's not helpful, is it? Alrighty. I remember when a lot of these came out, and I was, impressed with some and less impressed with quite a few. So we'll see which ones are in here. All right, 27 fun-filled CDs. So I have the whole clump here. Yeah, I have the whole clump. Okay, that's there. First, we begin with Hanang Romance. Oh, who cares? It's the Lalo cello concerto and little cello-y things, which are fine, and I couldn't care less. Tchaikovsky. Francesca da Rimini, Romeo and Juliet, Eugene Onegin waltz and other juicy things. With some singing in them, and the 1812 Overture, original version with chorus. This did not dazzle me, frankly. I found it to be just a little bit, just not too interesting and not fabulously played and not stunningly recorded. It's not terrible, but it's, not great. Tchaik 4. Here we go. We have Tchaik 4 and 5 and 6. These are exciting. I like these performances. The fourth was particularly slamming. It's really a good performance. Because these are live recordings, I believe. Let me see. Recorded, live. Yes, they were recorded live. Because they're live, the mics are very close to the orchestra, and it makes for some really in-your-face, exciting playing. I really like the fact that this orchestra has some very uninhibited lower brass, which really... it makes the climaxes ring out much better than in this overture thing. I wonder what the dates were comparatively. This is 2006, 2005. This is the same year, 2006, maybe the same concerts. Who knows? But, boy, they're better in the symphonies. They really are. So that's nice. Respighi, okay. Pines of Rome is the best thing here. The other two, not so much. You also get Il Tramonto, which is nice to have, with Christine Rice, mezzo-soprano. Frankly, in Festa Romana, they just don't have the cojones to pull it off. Fountains of Rome is pretty, it always is. But in the Pines, they do a good job. They do a pretty good job. The sonics, again, they could be clearer and more ringing. I mean, is anyone ever going to do as good a job recording these things as RCA did for Reiner back in like 1957 or something? Probably not. So not my favorite Roman trilogy, considering this is like a Roman orchestra. They ought to be able to do it. Rossini overtures. Oh, what's not to like? It's fun, it's cute, it's adorable. And you get the Andante and theme with variations. You get, 7 overtures, all the important ones. William Tell, The Silken Ladder, Il Signor Bruscino, The Barber of Seville, Cenerentola, Semiramide. You don't get La Gazza Ladra. I wish they had room for it, too. It's only 69 minutes. Well, maybe not, so... Verdi Requiem, absolutely first rate. A thrilling performance, wonderful singing, super exciting, and beautiful and spiritual and all that. Really one of the modern standouts. Absolutely fantastic. Leodov, The Enchanted Lake, Rachmaninoff's Second Symphony. Surprisingly good. I think that the orchestra doesn't really quite have the punch for the big climax in the first movement. They don't add timpani to the last note of that movement, however, which is really nice. But it's rhythmic and taut and surprisingly good. Really, surprisingly good. The finale is wonderful. Rossini's Stabat Mater with Anna Netrebko and Joyce DiDonato and Lawrence Brownlee and Ildebrando D'Arcangelo. Really a wonderful cast of soloists and a beautiful performance overall. Those are always going to be good. Mahler 6. Woof, boy. Frankly, I didn't know this performance at all. And I listened to it with great skepticism. And it really came off well. It's an exciting performance. And it's alarmingly well played, given who's doing it. They really sound good. And hey, Mildred, you listening? Yeah, you hear me? This is Mahler here, you know? Okay, I tried. Anyway, I really was impressed. It has moments that sound like no other orchestra in this symphony because they aren't making all the usual Mahler-type sounds, but to a large degree, they do. I mean, where they need to. The scherzo, for example, it's very, very rhythmic and rough and exciting, and the finale has a lot of energy. The hammer blows are a little high-pitched, but it's powerful, and it's all there. It's really there. The horns do a very good job. It's just a good Mahler thing. Dvorak, let's see. New World Symphony, and the Cello Concerto with Mario Brunello. All right, so the Cello Concerto is good. It's a good, solid performance. I think it could have a bit more juice in the finale. The New World Symphony is okay. I mean, you're not going to go screaming home saying, I just heard the New World Symphony, but it's good. Rossini's Petite Messe Solennelle in the orchestral version, Rossini's orchestral version. It's a wonderful work. I'm happy that they did this. It's a nice modern recording. Again, some really good singers, Sarah Mingardo and let's see, Marina Rebecca and Francesco Melli and Alex Esposito. Fine performance of a wonderful piece. Why don't people do it more often? Sacred Verdi. Sacred Verdi. This is the 4 sacred pieces, the Ave Maria and the Libera Me, and it's always nice to have a collection of these things, which are very, very good. Then we had, the Britain War Requiem. This was a disappointment. It really was. It sounded just not strong enough or powerful enough or with enough conviction. I'm sure that Pappano wanted to have it, but it just seems to me that they didn't come together the way he probably wanted to. The sound also wasn't as great on this one. When was this from? 2013, and it's live again. Maybe that's why. I don't know. It just was not a happy occasion, frankly. Shahrzad and Mussorgsky, Night on Bald Mountain. Let's see, 2 different versions. Well, you get the Shabalin version, which is interesting, with singing in it and whatnot from his completion of the whole opera, Sorochinsky Fair. So that's fascinating, quite frankly. It really is, and it's the original version of the tone poem too. It's not the Rimsky version from 1867, and this is really kind of fun. I mean, it really is. This is a novelty, and the Shahrzad is really good. They really dig into Shahrzad, and it sounds just splendid. I was really impressed. Beatrice Rana, Prokofiev Second Piano Concerto, Tchaik 1. Well, the Prokofiev is better than the Tchaikovsky, but they're both pretty good. They really are. It's not bad. I was happy with that. Most people like that record. I mean, I've read the reviews. They're not wrong. The Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony. It has a really powerful and prominent organ part. Let's put it that way. It's big and it's voluminous, and you get the carnival of the animals. The carnival of the animals. Right, animal? She's out for the count. All right. Never mind the animal. Not bad. Not bad. The Saint-Saëns, I think it's a little congested. It sounds a little bit lacking in rhythmic clarity, in my view, but I mean, these are tiny points. It's an exciting performance, and have that big ending. Ein Heldenleben with the burlesca. Well, the burlesca with Bernard Chamaillou is fun. That's a good performance. I really was impressed by him and by the playing. Ein Heldenleben, not so much. It dies. I mean, Ein Heldenleben almost always dies, and it dies before the hero. Nothing you can do about it. Bernstein, the 3 symphonies. Oh, this was not good. This just wasn't good. I mean, you've got Bernstein, you've got Marin Alsop, you've got all these other people who are doing Bernstein really idiomatically and well. It was wonderful, frankly, that they did them. It's a big project. I think they banked a lot on it, but the performances are just not comparable to the best. I'm sorry, nor do they sound that way. You also get the prelude, fugue, and riffs here. It's a pity, but not great. Rossini, Messe di Gloria. Well, that's always fun, of course, along with the other choral works. That's worth having, so that's decent. Oh, and cinema. This is like a zillion little tchotchkes, bits of cinema thing by John Williams and Marvin Hamlish and, you know, all the usual, you know, Vladimir Kozma and Gabrielle Yared and John Williams again and Michel Legrand and, yeah, you know, it's one of those. And finally, last but not least, the Haas version of the Bruckner Eighth, making its discographic debut. What can I say? It's Santa Cecilia doing Bruckner. I was impressed. Is it the best Bruckner? Is it Günter Wand? Is it, you know, one of those? No, but it's a very creditable effort. It really is. I was, you know, I mean, it's okay. You're not gonna hate it, and that's, you know, sort of the important thing. And they sound good. They make a real effort. And I remember, let's not overestimate how difficult that was. I remember vividly when I was an undergrad at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. James DePriest was guest conducting, and they were doing Bruckner 6. And I used to take the bus down to the Lyric Theater in downtown Baltimore. They were still in the Lyric back then, before they built Meyerhoff Hall. And I would ride with one of the viola players. He was this lovely Italian man with a thick Italian accent who'd been in the orchestra for a million years, and they were doing Bruckner 6th, and he was dying. He's a piece of crap. I hate this. It's impossible. It's unplayable. It's boring. You play tremolos for 50 hours. Oh, God, he couldn't stop. And so I don't know how many Italian players still feel that way, but you never know. So assuming that this was music way outside their Fach, I'm impressed. I'll just leave it at that, and you can make up your own mind. On the whole, there is really more good stuff than bad stuff in here. The average is really high. It's pretty impressive. I mean, he's really done something with his orchestra, and he deserves a lot of credit, and so do they. However, as I said, you got to put up with the coughing. And especially, like, you know, at the end of the Mahler 6, when it's just that very, very soft, and you hear people going, you know, it's hard. It's not ridiculous, but it's there, and you should be aware of that. That's number one. Number two, there was a previous box that came out here called Symphonic Pappano, and Symphonic Pappano had a lot of the symphonic parts here already. The Mahler, the Rachmaninoff, the Dvorak, a bunch of things. So if you had that, you may not want this, and I would understand, but it's a really solid effort by a major conductor whose specialization in opera has probably prevented him from getting much acknowledgement as a symphonic conductor, and he deserves it. He really does. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.